Although you have been taught for a long time that vegetables are beneficial to your health, what if there are some veggies that are silently causing damage to your kidneys, elevating your blood sugar levels, and even causing inflammation in your joints? The scariest part is that one of the most dangerous vegetables may be in your fridge without your knowledge. Numerous nutritionists and medical professionals have lauded these meals for a considerable amount of time. Yet, the stunning reality is that if you are middle-aged or older, your body may no longer metabolize them in the same manner that it used to. Healthy Life Care will guide you through 8 veggies that older folks should restrict or avoid eating, since they may be the hidden reasons behind your bloating, weariness, or those persistent ailments that have no apparent explanation. This video will be shown to you today. You must remember to press the like button and subscribe to Healthy Life Care so that you do not miss out on our weekly health recommendations. Additionally, we would appreciate it if you could leave a comment or tell us where you are viewing from. Having said that, let us now go on the voyage of discovering the veggies that seem to be healthy, but may not be as innocent as you believe them to be. Across the globe, corn is one of the most consumed vegetables. It is also renowned for its ability to spike blood sugar levels. It may be found in a wide variety of meals, including maize that has been cooked or grilled, tortillas, morning cereals, and even concealed in processed goods as pure corn syrup. Despite the fact that corn is often marketed as a natural source of fiber, it may be a quiet adversary for older folks since it can cause blood sugar levels to rise, it can stress digestion, and it can contribute to long-term health problems. Corn is notoriously difficult to digest, which is one of the most significant issues associated with it. Unlike many other vegetables, corn contains cellulose, a type of fiber that the human body struggles to digest. This explains why your stool may contain undigested maize. You may not have to worry about this issue if you are younger and have a robust digestive system, but as you become older, your digestion will slow down. The inability to adequately break down cellulose may result in bloating, gas, cramping, and overall discomfort on the part of the individual. If you suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, or any other digestive condition, eating maize may make your symptoms even more severe. The impact that maize has on blood sugar is another significant cause for worry. Corn's high glycemic index converts it into sugar quickly after consumption. The risk of developing diabetes, weight gain, and insulin resistance is increased as a result of this scenario, which may result in rapid rises in blood sugar followed by collapses. Consuming an excessive amount of maize may make it even more difficult to maintain blood sugar levels, which is a problem that many elderly people already face. Corn poses a hidden danger to kidney health by causing kidney damage over time, which further exacerbates the problem of high blood sugar levels. It is imperative that you exercise extra caution if you have diabetes, prediabetes, or renal problems. Of course, it is not all. In today's world, the majority of maize is genetically modified, GMO, and subjected to extensive chemical treatment. Studies have shown that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and pesticide residues may have a harmful impact on gut health, cause inflammation, and even disturb the balance of hormones. Elderly people, with their compromised immune systems and slower metabolism, are particularly vulnerable to this. As time passes, prolonged exposure to these chemicals may raise the likelihood of developing digestive issues, sensitivity to certain foods, and chronic inflammation, all of which have been associated with cardiovascular disease, arthritis, and even cognitive decline. So, if you have a passion for maize, what should you do? The elimination of it totally is not required of you. Rather, you will need to make more informed decisions. To minimize your exposure to potentially dangerous pesticides, choose organic, non-GMO maize and consume just modest servings. Products made from maize that have been heavily processed, such as corn syrup, corn chips, and sweet corn cereals, should be avoided since they do the greatest harm. Although corn may seem to be innocuous, it may really be a hidden trigger for digestive issues, blood sugar imbalances, and long-term health hazards in older individuals. Before you go for another serving of corn, you should ask yourself if it is beneficial to your health or whether it is really causing you damage. The second point is that mushrooms are not as safe as you may think. Mushrooms are often lauded as a superfood because of their high vitamin and antioxidant content, as well as their immune-enhancing capabilities. Many elderly people include mushrooms in their diet because they believe mushrooms are beneficial to brain health and lifespan. It is important to note, however, that the majority of people are unaware of the fact that mushrooms might provide unanticipated risks, particularly as one gets older. The presence of wild mushrooms is one of the most significant dangers. A wide variety of edible mushrooms can take up poisons from their surroundings, such as heavy metals and contaminants found in the soil. As a result of their cultivation in polluted environments, mushrooms have the potential to contain potentially harmful amounts of toxins that build up in the body over time. These poisons are especially hazardous for elderly people, who often have compromised immune systems or renal difficulties. They have the potential to cause damage to organs, neurological concerns, and digestive trouble. What is even more concerning is the fact that even mushrooms purchased from a shop might be impacted if they were cultivated in soil of low quality. Raw mushrooms, especially white button mushrooms, naturally contain a substance known as arginine. This compound poses a potential health risk when consumed in large amounts. Research has demonstrated that high quantities of agarotine may have carcinogenic properties. Even though boiling mushrooms dramatically lowers the amount of agarotine in the body, many individuals continue to consume raw mushrooms in salads or prepare them as little as possible, inadvertently exposing their bodies to potentially dangerous substances over time. Over time, this may lead to an increase in inflammation, a decline in gut health, and an increased likelihood of developing health problems. Mushrooms have the potential to be a covert allergen that may cause sensitivities and allergies. Many elderly people are unaware that mushrooms contain fungal proteins that might cause immune responses, leading to digestive pain, bloating, skin rashes, and potential lung problems. Some people have mild symptoms like gas or nausea, while others have more severe reactions. It's possible that your body is having trouble processing mushrooms effectively if you often experience feelings of illness after eating them. How, therefore, can you make mushrooms a more secure food option? First and foremost, you must always cook them to perfection. Through the use of heat, agarotine may be broken down, and any germs or poisons that may be present can be eliminated. It is best to choose organic mushrooms whenever possible because they are less likely to be polluted with pesticides or environmental contaminants. It is important to restrict your consumption of mushrooms or completely avoid them if you have digestive sensitivities or allergies. These measures will help you avoid experiencing any negative side effects. While mushrooms could give the impression of being a nutritious meal, they really have the potential to be a hidden source of toxins, digestive issues, and other health dangers for older individuals. Before you decide to include them in your next meal, give some thought to the potential effects that they might have on your health. Number 3. Eggplant, the silent inflammation trigger. Eggplant is a popular component in a wide variety of cuisines because of its velvety texture and its capacity to take on tastes. But behind its glossy cover lurks a secret hazard that many older folks are unaware of: solanine. Often praised for its low-calorie and rich fiber content, solanine conceals a hidden peril beneath its glossy skin. A natural toxin known as solanine may be found in vegetables belonging to the nightshade family, such as potatoes, eggplants, and other vegetables. On the other hand, solanine may cause inflammation and make joint discomfort worse in people, although it helps plants fight against pests. For those who suffer from illnesses such as arthritis, gout, or chronic pain, this is a particularly troubling development. People who eat eggplant frequently experience pain, swelling, or stiffness in their joints without even realizing it. They never consider the possibility that their beloved vegetable may be the source of these symptoms. Should you already be experiencing discomfort in your joints, eggplant may be exacerbating the condition. Eggplant, in addition to causing irritation, may also be difficult to stomach. There are substances in its thick skin and small seeds that have the potential to irritate the lining of the stomach, which may result in issues such as acid reflux, bloating, and discomfort. When it comes to elderly people who suffer from gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, or sensitive digestion, eggplant has the potential to worsen symptoms, leading to heartburn and stomach discomfort. In addition, some individuals may have moderate allergic responses to eggplant, which may manifest as a tingling sensation in the throat or a little swelling after eating. How, therefore, can you consume eggplant in a more secure manner? It is essential to cook it fully. Heat reduces the negative effects of solanine. One way to mitigate the bad effects of eggplant is to cook it until it is tender by grilling, steaming, or roasting it. Additionally, peeling the skin might make it simpler to digest the food. The most essential thing to remember is to consume eggplant in moderation, particularly if you suffer from arthritis, joint discomfort, or digestive challenges. Although eggplant may seem to be innocuous, it may really be a secret inflammatory trigger for many elderly people, making joint pain worse, causing digestion to become more difficult, and even causing discomfort in the kidneys. If you have been eating eggplant without giving it much attention, it is possible that it is time to reevaluate the effects that it is having on your biological system. Potatoes are one of the vegetables that are eaten the most often all over the globe. However, they also pose a significant risk to blood sugar regulation. Potatoes are used in a wide variety of comfort foods, including mashed potatoes, French fries, and potato chips. However, what if this common vegetable is slowly but surely causing harm to your health, particularly as you go through the years? Potatoes have a high glycemic index, GI, which is one of the health risks associated with eating them. After eating, they undergo a rapid conversion into sugar, which results in a sudden increase in the amount of sugar in the blood. There is the potential for this process to be a significant concern for older persons, particularly those who suffer from diabetes, insulin resistance, or metabolic disorders. Fatigue, weight gain, and an increased risk of developing heart disease are all potential outcomes of frequent rises in blood sugar levels. In the long run, it may also add to the pressure on the kidneys, damage the nerves, and worsen the symptoms of diabetes. On the other hand, the risk does not end there. Fried potatoes, including French fries and potato chips, pose the greatest risk. The production of acrylamide, a chemical that has been related to inflammation and an increased risk of cancer, occurs when potatoes are fried at high temperatures when they are being prepared. Not only can these substances cause damage to your body, but they also lead to muscle and joint discomfort, a sluggish metabolism, and accelerated aging. It is possible that eating fried potatoes will make the symptoms of arthritis or chronic inflammation worse in older individuals who suffer from these conditions. In addition, if you believe that switching to baked potatoes would make them safer, you are mistaken. Even when the peel is removed, baked potatoes still generate surges in blood sugar, which may leave you feeling exhausted and hungry in a short time frame after eating. The maintenance of a healthy weight and consistent energy levels is made more difficult as a result of this. So what is a more desirable alternative? Consider using sweet potatoes as an alternative to normal potatoes. More fiber is present in them, they have a reduced influence on glucose levels, and they are abundant in antioxidants. If you truly must have potatoes, be sure to leave the skin on for additional fiber, and instead of frying them, try boiling or baking them. Potatoes may seem to be an innocuous meal, nevertheless, for older folks, they may be a hidden trigger for difficulties related to blood sugar, inflammation, and long-term health hazards. The next time you grab for a meal that contains potatoes, ask yourself whether it is beneficial to your health or detrimental to your health. 5. Peas, the hidden sugar bomb. Peas may seem to be a harmless vegetable since they are tiny, green, and are often used in meals that are considered to be healthful. You may have heard that peas are a fantastic source of fiber, protein, and necessary minerals. But what if I told you that they might be silently damaging your health, particularly if you are an elderly person? The first risk associated with peas is the unexpectedly large amount of sugar that they contain. The glycemic load of peas is greater than that of leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables. This means that peas are more likely to induce rapid rises in blood sugar levels since they are more likely to be broken down into sugar. People who have diabetes or insulin resistance are particularly at risk since their condition may cause them to experience energy dumps, an increase in appetite, and greater levels of inflammation all at the same time. If you are experiencing difficulties with fluctuating blood sugar, peas may be playing a more significant role than you believe they are. Of course, it is not all. In addition, peas contain a high level of purines, which are a naturally occurring chemical that elevates uric acid levels in the body. The elderly are particularly vulnerable to this. Gout is a severe type of arthritis that produces swelling and discomfort in the joints, particularly in the feet and toes. Maintaining a healthy level of uric acid in the body can prevent gout. Even worse, an excessive amount of uric acid puts additional strain on the kidneys, which raises the chance of kidney stones as well as long-term damage to the kidneys. It is possible that reducing the amount of peas you consume can provide you with unexpected relief if you have ever had abrupt joint pain or renal discomfort. There is also the problem of digestion to consider. Peas are a good source of complex carbohydrates and lectins, two types of chemicals that are sometimes difficult for elderly people to digest. Stomach pains, bloating, and gas are among the symptoms that can result from eating peas. It is because your digestive tract is having trouble processing peas that you may experience strange feelings of bloating or sluggishness after eating a meal that contains peas. Certain meals become more difficult to digest than they were in the past as we become older, because the digestive enzymes in our bodies become less effective. In such a case, what is the answer? It is not necessary to completely abstain from peas if you love eating them. Nonetheless, it is important to consume them in moderation. Instead of heaping them onto your plate, consider serving them in smaller pieces and combining them with nutritious proteins and fats to slow down the rate at which they absorb sugar. To prevent needless health hazards, you should think about restricting your consumption of peas entirely if you have renal problems or if you are prone to gout. Peas may seem to be a simple and inconsequential food, but for elderly people, they may be a hidden cause of inflammation, digestive pain, and major metabolic disorders. At this point, it is necessary to reevaluate what exactly is on your plate. Asparagus, which is abundant in vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber, is sometimes referred to as a superfood. However, it is really a kidney stressor that is disguised as a healthy food. Weight reduction diets and meal plans that are beneficial for the heart often include it as a component. But what if I told you that asparagus might be worsening joint pain, straining your kidneys, and dehydrating you without you knowing? Asparagus has a high purine content, which is one of the most significant unseen risks associated with it. The body converts purines, which are naturally occurring chemicals found in a wide variety of foods, into uric acid. Excess uric acid is a significant issue that affects a significant number of elderly people. It has the potential to build up in the joints, which may lead to excruciating flare-ups of gout. If you have ever woken up with severe pain and swelling in your big toe or other joints, gout may be the cause, and asparagus may worsen it. Even if you do not presently have gout, having an excessive amount of uric acid may still cause inflammation, make the symptoms of arthritis worse, and put pressure on the health of your kidneys. However, this is not the end of the dangers. Asparagus has a strong diuretic effect, causing increased urination. At first glance, this would not seem to be a negative thing. In fact, some individuals feel that it assists in the elimination of pollutants. On the other hand, frequent urination may cause dehydration to occur much more quickly than you would anticipate in elderly people. Your body will retain less water as you become older, and it will become less effective at indicating that you are thirsty. Therefore, you might be already dehydrated before you even experience feelings of thirst. Dehydration is a serious condition that may lead to symptoms such as dizziness, disorientation, muscular cramps, and pressure on the kidneys. Additionally, if you have renal disease or impaired kidney function, increased urine from diuretic foods like asparagus might force your kidneys to work harder than they normally would, which could possibly make your situation even worse. In such a case, what is the answer? It is not necessary to totally abandon asparagus if you like eating it. Nonetheless, you should exercise caution while doing so. As a means of combating the dehydrating effects of this substance, be sure to consume a lot of water. In the event that you are prone to gout or renal issues, it is recommended that you either restrict your consumption or eat it in only tiny quantities. Another possibility is to reduce the purine content of asparagus by cooking it completely. Although asparagus may be touted as a healthy meal, it may be a hidden problem for older folks, leading to joint discomfort, dehydration, and renal strain. Therefore, it is important to avoid eating asparagus. The moment has come to reevaluate whether or not this so-called superfood is indeed as risk-free as it seems to be. Spinach is often referred to as a superfood due to its abundance of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Number 7 implicates spinach in the formation of kidney stones. It has been lauded for its ability to strengthen the immune system, improve cardiovascular health, and promote cognitive function. What would happen, however, if this meal that is supposed to be healthful instead puts your kidneys in danger? The most significant issue with spinach is that it has an exceptionally high amount of oxalate. Oxalates occur naturally in a wide variety of plant-based diets. Nevertheless, spinach is one of the foods that has the largest amount of oxalates. Oxalates have the potential to create kidney stones when they bond with calcium in the kidneys, which may occur when they accumulate in the body. Should you have ever experienced the severe and terrible agony that kidney stones cause, spinach may be contributing to the worsening of the condition instead. Consuming an excessive amount of spinach only serves to enhance the risk of kidney stones for elderly people, who already have a greater risk of developing kidney stones owing to age-related changes in renal function. Stones in the kidneys are not the sole cause for worry. Spinach contains oxalates, which inhibit calcium absorption as well. This study indicates that even if you consume a large quantity of foods that are high in calcium, your body may not be able to absorb enough of it to maintain healthy bones. Fractures, osteoporosis, and mobility impairments are all more likely to occur in older individuals due to the fact that their bones are weaker. The situation is particularly problematic for older adults. In the event that you are experiencing joint discomfort, fragile bones, or frequent fractures, it is possible that your habit of eating spinach is causing more damage than good. Thus, what are some safe ways to consume spinach? The most important thing is cooking. As a result of boiling or steaming spinach, oxalate levels may be reduced, which means that the vegetable is less hazardous to your kidneys and bones. In addition, combining spinach with calcium-rich meals such as cheese or yogurt may assist in achieving a more balanced oxalate impact. However, even with these safety measures, moderation is still critical. Spinach may seem to be the ideal meal for health, but for elderly people, it may really be a hidden trigger for kidney stones, poor calcium absorption, and long-term bone health difficulties. Think about whether your kidneys and bones are able to manage the amount of food you're going to put on your plate before you do so. Number 8. Cabbage, the thyroid disruptor. People often view cabbage as a powerful vegetable because of its high fiber, vitamin, and antioxidant content. A significant number of diets include it as a mainstay, and it is lauded for the role it plays in maintaining a healthy heart, digestion, and even weight reduction. On the other hand, the majority of people are unaware that cabbage has a negative side, one that may result in significant issues, particularly for elderly people. One of the most significant problems associated with cabbage is the effect it has on digestion. This product includes raffinose, a kind of sugar that is difficult for the human body to break down due to its complexity. Therefore, it ferments in the digestive tract, which results in an excessive amount of gas, bloating, and discomfort. Cabbage may cause unpleasant bloating, intestinal cramps, and even acid reflux in elderly people who have sluggish digestion or a sensitive stomach. There is a possibility that your body is having difficulty processing cabbage if you feel uncomfortably full for an extended period of time after eating it. However, the impact that cabbage has on the thyroid gland is the most significant cause for worry. The quantity of goitrogens, which are naturally occurring chemicals that disrupt thyroid function, is high in cabbage. Because of these chemicals, the body is unable to absorb iodine, which is an essential vitamin for the production of thyroid hormones. Consuming cabbage on a daily basis might make symptoms worse for elderly people who are already battling with hypothyroidism or a sluggish metabolism. Such conditions can result in weariness, weight gain, and even cognitive impairment. Your thyroid may be under stress if you experience particularly high levels of fatigue, coldness, or mental fogginess. Consuming cabbage may be making the situation even more difficult. So what is the more secure alternative? Consider fermented varieties of cabbage, such as sauerkraut or kimchi, if you are already a fan of cabbage. The process of fermentation helps break down tough fiber and lowers the effects of goitrogens, which makes cabbage simpler to digest and safer for your thyroid. Fermenting cabbage achieves these benefits. Cooking cabbage can lessen its negative effects, but if you have thyroid issues, limit your intake. Cabbage may give the impression of being a nutritious meal. Nevertheless, it may really be a hidden danger for elderly people since it can cause digestive issues, slow down metabolism, and damage thyroid function. Have a conversation with yourself about whether or not cabbage is really beneficial to your health before you add it to your plate. That brings us to the end of our discussion on 8 vegetables that, despite their apparent healthiness, really present hidden dangers for people of advanced age, particularly with regard to the health of the kidneys, blood sugar, digestion, and joint function. One thing to keep in mind is that eating healthily is not simply about selecting nutritious meals. Rather, it is about selecting foods that are appropriate for your body at every stage of your life. If you found this video to be useful, please click the like button, subscribe to Health Vibes, and share it with your loved ones, particularly your parents and grandparents. Changing one's diet even a little may sometimes have a significant impact on one's health over the long run. Remember to leave a comment below and tell us if you have ever had any difficulties with any of the veggies that are included on this list. Thank you for sharing your story with us. We will see you in the next video, where Healthy Life Care will continue to be by your side on the path to living a healthy, happy life and remaining active every day.